Peace. It's Akua um, from Seeds Book Publishing, and I'm creating this video so that I can further introduce one of the first books that I actually published, which was the Madam C.J. Walker's Road to Success book. I decided to put this book on sale. It's actually $7 right now until Saturday, the first, I think it is. Um, Anyhow, the very first book I ever wrote for my son was The Successes of Marcus Garvey. However, before I got the opportunity to publish it, I wanted to get someone from the Garvey family to read it and give me the blessings to, or, the go ahead to go ahead and publish the book. In the meantime, I was studying about other African heroes from Pan-African approach. So um, Africans who have created significant opportunities and differences for all of us from all over the world. And I ran across Madam C.J. Walker's story. And the deeper I began to dig into her legacy, realized that there were just a lot of fallacies that existed. As soon as you Google her name, it says, it gives you incorrect information in saying that she created pressing combs or perms, which she didn't. So I was just very intrigued by her life story. It was actually very traumatic. This, of all the three books I've written, or I've published so far, I've written more, but I've published so far, was the hardest to write, just because she had a lot of tragedy in her life. But it never discouraged her, not only from wanting to have better for herself and her daughter, but for all African people. And that's just a side of her that unfortunately is very rarely expressed and shared. But she was a philanthropist in every sense of the word, a humanitarian, a Pan-African, which you never hear about Madam C.J. Walker. But she traveled the world encouraging not just women, not just um, people to buy her products, but to start their own businesses, to actually get out of white folks' kitchen and backyards and doing their laundry and whatnot, and to create businesses for themselves and to create situations where they could be more self-sufficient as a people, as a community. She was very strategic in her marketing. She created a what is now known as a hair salon, but then was a hair culturist salon where hair was done. And I think the confusion comes in because everything that was done to hair was done in her salon naturally. Even today, if you go into a salon, you can pretty much get whatever you want done there. Now, that doesn't mean that they are suggesting that you get whatever you choose to get. They're just providing you with a service. So hair was pressed, and whatever else is done to hair. But in all of my research, and even in being able to have the honor to be in communication with Madam C.J. Walker's great granddaughter, A'Lelia Bundles, discovered that she had absolutely nothing against natural hair, was not anti-natural hair. She was actually about women taking the time to groom themselves, and not groom themselves so that they can look more European, but just so they can be more put together, so that they have this air about themselves, this drive, this self-esteem, because we're talking about a time period not long after the alleged um, ending of our enslavement. So the last thing we were thinking about as women is how we're going to wear our hair, or how often we should wash it, or coming up with a hair regimen. So Madam C.J. Walker provided this through her own experience. She actually went to a fair in St. Louis, and she heard Booker T. Washington's wife, Margaret Washington, speak, and she was very impressed with her overall, with her appearance, with her demeanor, with her education, and she decided she wanted to step her game up. And she was like, you know what? I'm going to need to address my hair situation. During that time period, a lot of women wore their hair, just covered with a scarf, with a head scarf. And she had some areas where she was balding. So she experimented and eventually came up with a solution that restored her hair, and her hair began to grow. So she used herself even on the containers of this hair product, not to show her hair pressed out, but to show her hair in length. So that was just her hair grown out. And a lot of people mistaken that image as, you know, a woman with a perm or a woman with her hair pressed, but she was just showing her hair being strengthened again. So I was just very impressed by her drive and hearing her story. And anyone who happens to purchase and read this book has always actually sent me some kind of a follow-up, or, you know, if I've had the privilege of being in contact with them, letting me know that it's not what they thought, and they had to completely change their ideals about Madam C.J. Walker, and they have a lot of respect for her. She wanted Black communities to be empowered and to have economic strength, but she also had a lot of integrity. And she was very just innovative, and she inspires me on a daily basis, just like the other two books that I have, the two people in these books, Queen Nzinga and Marcus Garvey, among many. We have lots of ancestors that inspire me to no end. So anyway, I just wanted to really encourage sales with my Madam C.J. Walker book in particular, just because I feel like it gets overlooked, because people just they don't know what they don't know, or they only know what it is they've seen on Google, or they've heard from someone else, or they hear the word madam and think that she was a madam, which is ridiculous. She was not a madam. Or, you know, again, they think that she was influential in having sisters to oppress their hair, but that wasn't the case either. So again, I lowered it to $7 so that hopefully I can encourage some of you to learn more about her. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to send me an email. You can send it to seedspublishing@gmail.com, or if you have, you know, my Kuagusai email, you can do that too. If you have me on Facebook, feel free to go ahead and send me an inbox, and I'll definitely get an answer for you or provide you with anything I've happened to research about Madam C.J. Walker. So hopefully you found this information to be encouraging for you to want to know more about her. My website is seedsbookpublishing.com. So seeds, just like you plant, bookpublishing.com. And again, I'm Akua, and I thank you for your time. I know this video is a little lengthy. Thank you.